Welcome friends. In this video I am going to talk about the Bhavat Bhavam concept, which is a very important concept and which should be used actively while we are doing somebody's chart reading. So Bhavat Bhavam, what does it mean and how to apply it, I'll tell you through this video. So first of all, Bhavat means from the Bhav and Bhavam means the Bhav, the placement of the condition of the Bhav. So means Bhav to Bhav relationship has to be studied in this concept, and it is very important while we are studying a bhava that we should see the bhavat bhavam of that bhava, and only then we should speak out the interpretation that we are getting through that chart. So I'll tell you this with the help of a Kal Purush Kundli, and I'll go through all the bhavas. So in the Bhavat Bhavam, the first house to first is the first house itself. So here we will not consider the first house for the Bhavat Bhavam. Now coming to the second house, which is for your wealth and for your family matters. So second to second is your third house. This is your second house. So this will be counted as the first house, first and second. So second to second is your third house. So the third house is the reflection of your second house. If your third house is strong, then automatically the second house gets strength. And if there are benefics present in your third house, so your second house will get strength and you will be able to accumulate large amount of wealth and you will have family happiness. And if your third house is having malefics, in that case you will have problems related to wealth accumulation or related to your family matters, because third is the second of second, it's the reflection of second. Also, third house is all about your efforts. It's about your efforts where you use the things coming from the second house. How you are going to invest your money or invest your time into your family is going to be seen from the third house, which is for the efforts. So here if there are malefics, it means you are not putting the right kind of efforts to get the maximum advantage of your second house. And if your third house has got benefics, it means you put good amount of efforts which will be cordial for your family life and which will help you accumulate your wealth. So this is how you have to study the Bhavat Bhavam of the second house. Now when you have to see the Bhavat Bhavam of the third house, third to third is your fifth house, 1, 2, 3. So you have to see the strength of the fifth house, because the third house is all about your hobbies, about your talents, about your creativity, and the fifth house is about the creativity also, and it's about your stage performance also. All activities related to stage are to be seen by the fifth house. So if you are having a weak third house, say you may not be that much talented and somehow your fifth house is strong, so it shows that despite the fact that you are not having sufficient amount of talent, still when you come on the stage you find yourself very talented and you can perform very well on stage. So automatically people will take you as a very talented person. People will think that the person is very talented. That is only because the fifth house is strong and it is giving strength to the third house. So you have to see the Bhavat Bhavam of the third while you are doing the study of the third house. So if this is also strong and the fifth house is also strong, then you are very lucky. Then it means you are extremely talented and you can showcase your talent very well on the stage. Now coming to the fourth house. Fourth house is for your happiness, for your comforts. See, the fourth to fourth is your seventh house, 1, 2, 3, 4. So which means if you want comforts in life, you have to have a partnership. From the seventh house comes the partnerships and your spouse. So you have to get married to get everlasting comforts in your life. So if your seventh house is seventh lord is well placed, if your seventh house is aspected by benefics, so if your seventh house is pretty strong, then it means you will have a good spouse who will give you everlasting comforts and happiness in your life. But just in case your fourth house is strong, but your seventh house is not strong, it is having malefics or it is aspected by malefics, then I would say that despite the fact that you have everything at your home to give you comforts, but because your spouse is not worthy enough to let you avail the happiness that you are having at home. So it is very important that the 7th house should be strong while you are studying the happiness coming from the 4th house. So also I have seen that people get the results of home comforts in the activation of the 7th house, because 7th is the reflection of the 4th house. So home related dealings will also happen in the dasha of the 7th lord. So you should also keep these small things in your mind. Now coming to the 5th house. On the standalone basis, 5th house is all about your intelligence. It's also about having children. It's also about your past life good deeds. The good deeds that you did in your past life will be shown through the strong 5th house. If your 5th lord is well placed, if it is 5th house is aspected by benefics, then your 5th lord's dasha will go smooth. You will have good benefits in the 5th house's dasha. It means that you have performed some very good deeds in your past life, and that is why you are getting the good results. So now the Bhavat Bhavam of the 5th house will be your 9th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5th to 5th is your 9th house. So if your 9th house is strong, it is having benefics, 9th lord is in the Kendra, then it means your 5th house has automatically gained in strength. And despite the fact that the person may not be of very high intelligence because of the weak 5th house, the 9th house being strong will make sure that the person will study enough, the person will be persistent, and the person will achieve higher education despite the fact that the 5th house is not so strong. So the Bhavat Bhavam will compensate for the weakness of the house for which we are studying. So 9th house being the Bhavat Bhavam of the 5th, if your 9th house is having benefics, then it means that you are doing good deeds in your current life. 9th is always the good deeds, the religious deeds of your current life. So you are doing good deeds in your current life, so that even if this is having malefics, it means that the past life sins will get deleted. So lots of past life sins will be nullified by doing good deeds in this life, and thereby the 5th house will become strong. This is also, you can look at it this way, because 9th is the Bhavat Bhavam of the 5th house. Now coming to the 6th house. The 6th house is a trick house. See, the 6, 8 and 12, these are 3 trick houses, or the bad houses of a chart. See, primarily they will give you difficulties, disease and debts in their dashas, but they also have some good things. But majorly these 3 houses, 6, 8 and 12, these are the chart's malefic houses. They are functionally malefic houses. So if you are studying the 6th house, you should always study the 11th house also, because the 11th house is the 6th of 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is the 6th of 6th. So if your 11th house is having benefics, if the 11th lord is in the Kendra trine, if it is good, if it is not afflicted by a malefic, then the 6th house will automatically gain in strength. It means that you will not be able to have diseases, and you will be able to win over your enemies, and you will not have debts in your life, and this house will gain in strength, which is good for you. But at the same time, see, as I told you, 6, 8 and 12 are the malefic houses. The 11th house is also a functionally malefic house. Whenever the dasha of the 11th lord will come, the person has to go through a lot of hard work, hardships. Only then he will be able to get good results. It will give you good results, but later on in the end. Reason being, 11th house is a functionally malefic, and it is 6th of 6th. So it will be giving you the fruits of the 6th house initially, but eventually, if the house lord is strong, it will give you good results. The outcome will be good for you. That is why the 11th house is also considered as a functionally malefic house, besides the 6, 8 and 12 houses. So although 11th is the 12th of 12th also, so it has become doubly malefic. So it is more malefic then the third house will come to it. Third is the eighth of eighth. We are coming to it. So first, we were studying about the sixth house. So sixth to sixth is the 11th. So it should be strong so that you can get good results of the sixth house. Now coming to the seventh house, it is about your marriage, about your partnership. So seventh to seventh is your lagna. So ascendant is very important while you are studying the spouse. So it means that if you want to see the good results of your marriage, you also should see the strength of your lagna. If your lagna is in the kendra, if it is aspected by benefics, or if benefics are present here, then it means lagna is you, your own self. It means your own self is fine enough so as to make the spouse good. So even if the seventh house is weak but the lagna is strong, then I would say 50% of the maleficence of the seventh house has been balanced by our own good self. So it is very important to see the strength of the lagna. If it is strong, then the seventh house will automatically get balanced out in case it is weak. And if the seventh house is also strong and the lagna is also strong, then it is a very good indication for you. Then it means that both sides are good enough and you will have a very cordial married life. Now friends, let's come to the eighth house. Eighth house is the trick house of the chart. It is used to see the longevity of a person and it is active at the time of death. It is also the house of suddenness of events, sudden losses, chronicity of diseases. So many malefic things are to be seen by the eighth house. Now the eighth to eighth is your third house. So if your third house is strong, then it means the eighth house will also become strong. So whatever things are coming from the eighth house will also come through the third house. So many of you will see that third house can be active at the time of death. Third house, if it is strong, can give you inclination towards research, towards things of occult, because eighth house is all about occult and research also. So they are also coming through the third house because third is the eighth of eighth. So hence, as 11th house is a functionally malefic house, so is the third house. Third is little less malefic than the 11th because 11th is 12th of 12th and it is 6th of 6th. So it is double malefic. It is more malefic than the third, and third is only the 8th of 8th. So that is why the dasha of the third house is also troublesome and the dasha of the 11th house is also troublesome, and only after going through that difficulties the person will come out of it. So third house must be seen in strength. Suppose you are having lots of malefics in your 8th house, it means that the person is prone to sudden injuries and suddenness of events. So but if the third house is strong, it is having benefics, if it is its lord is in the kendra, in that case you will say that the 8th house has automatically gained in strength. Despite going through some difficulties or suddenness of events in your life, this house strong means that you will be able to come out of it. So you will be able to overcome those difficulties. So it is very important to see the third house. Now coming to the 9th house. 9th house is your bhagyasthan. It is your luck house. It is also about your higher education and it is also about your religiousness. So many things are to be seen, and sometimes in the dasha of the 9th house you can have children also because it is the 5th of 5th. So let's talk about the 9th house first. So 9th to 9th is your 5th house. You can count. So 5th is the 9th to 9th. So it means that if the 9th house is having some malefics, in that case the person may see some delays in his life regarding good luck. So but if the 5th house is strong, if the 5th lord is strong, aspected by benefics, posited by benefics, then the 9th house weakness can be balanced. So you should always do some charity work for the children, for the orphanage, because from the 5th house also comes children. So if you do things for the orphan children, then you will automatically make your bhagya strong, your luck strong, because fifth house is going to also give you the results of your ninth house. So try to do something for the underprivileged children to make your ninth house strong. And now coming to the 10th house. 10th is the status you are known for. Whatever work you do, you build up a status due to that, and you are known for that. So the 10th to 10th is your 7th house. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 7th house is 10th of 10th. So if the 7th house is strong, if you have a good spouse, if you have good partnership, then you will raise in your status, then you will perform better at work, and you will build up a good status, you will get promoted. So it is very important that this house should be strong so as to build this house. So 7th is the 4th of 4th, and it is also the 10th of 10th. So it becomes the important house while we are studying the comforts and the career status for ourselves. And if you happen to have malefics here, they will cause problems for your career life also and for your happiness also. So you have to do the remedies for the malefics if they are present in your 7th house. Now coming to the 11th house. 11th bhavam falls in the 9th house, because 11th to 11th is the 9th house. You can count. This is 11th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 9th is the 11th of 11th. So which means 11th is all about your wish fulfillment, about your gains. So if you are wanting to see how much gains you will have, how much income you will have, how much wishes will be fulfilled, it all depends upon the strength of the 9th house. And 9th is about your luck. So if your 9th house is strong, it will promote your 11th house also. It will promote your social status also. It's about your social life also. So it means if your luck is strong, if your deeds are good enough coming from the 9th house, they will also strengthen the 11th house. So whenever you are studying about the gains or the income, do see that the 9th house is supporting. If there is a problem in the 9th house, try to fix it so as to get good results of the 11th house. Now coming to the 12th house. 12th to 12th is your 11th house. So it's very important to have a strong 11th house so that the 12th house becomes weak. What I am trying to say is, if there are benefics present here, then the 12th house will become weak, and benefics will help you safeguard your expenses, and it will help you save your money. So this house will become weak, and if there are malefics here, then this house will become strong, and you will not be able to save money, and you will be expending a lot of money. Similarly, 12th house is also about the hospitalization also. If a person has to go through some surgeries or hospitalization, besides seeing the 12th house, also see the 11th house. If there are malefics here, then it means that the person may have to go through surgeries in his life. And if there are benefics here, then also it can give you surgeries, or it can preempt the surgeries, and if you will be able to come out safely out of the surgeries if you happen to go through. So that is why the 11th house becomes very important while we are studying the prospects of the 12th house and the 6th house. So friends, this is how each house is related to each other. There is another thing to it which I will be telling you in my next video. I wanted to make separate videos for the other part of it, part 2 of it, how you can additionally imply the Bhavat Bhavam for reading the prospects of each house. That I will tell you in my next video. I hope you must have gained something through this. Please do like, subscribe and share with your friends, and I'll see you very soon with another video. Thank you for listening.